My boyfriend, 30, and I, 28, moved into a fairly large house together last year. When all the COVID things started getting out of hand, we decided to open up our house to one of our friends, 30, and my boyfriend's cousin, 19. The friend who moved in with us, Kate, fake name, lost her job before the pandemic, and 2 months ago with the end of lease, she couldn't afford a place to live. My boyfriend and I have a common friend group that we knew since the college days, around 7 years. Kate joined this group 2 years ago. When our friends informed us of her losing her house, we decided, hey, we have free space, come stay with us for a while until you can find a permanent solution. We also covered the food expenses while she helped with the chores. She accepted and moved in within a few days. When she first moved in, she was acting friendly with me, but as time progressed she started becoming colder and colder towards me, but was still friendly with my boyfriend. A month ago she started acting weird. While we were watching Netflix, she started sitting in between my boyfriend and me, touching or hitting his arm lightly when she was laughing, touching my boyfriend's neck or hair, while saying good morning to his ear, or trying to massage him constantly. I didn't know what to do, especially because my boyfriend was not saying anything at the time, and I didn't want to be the crazy girlfriend. However, he sat me down a week or so ago and told me he was extremely uncomfortable by the way Kate was behaving. Let me tell you, I was so relieved that I was not the only one who was thinking she was acting strange, lol. He said when I'm not around her behavior only increases, and he didn't know what to do because he was scared of telling me this as he thought maybe he was overthinking it. We decided to speak to her if she did it again and went to bed happy. 2 days ago I drove to my parents' house to visit them and help with their needs as they don't go out. I got a text 2 hours into my visit from my boyfriend asking me to come back home urgently. When I returned, everyone in the house was yelling and I was very confused, lol. When my boyfriend saw me, he said that he wanted to talk to Kate about what she has been doing was making him uncomfortable, and apparently, she didn't take this well because she said she did this with everyone, and when I took my boyfriend's side, more yelling and calling names happened. We told her to get her things and get out. I thought our friends would take our side when we told them about this, but now the whole group is divided. Most of them said yes, she was wrong if she was making us uncomfortable, but that she is just a touchy person. And we were idiots for kicking her out in a pandemic when she had nowhere else to go to. I trust my boyfriend very much as he has been nothing but an honest partner for the past 5 years. He said he decided to talk to her because she kept caressing his arm and touching his thigh, and he hated it. So, I wanted to ask, am I the idiot for kicking her out? Not the idiot, what she has been doing was making him uncomfortable, and apparently, she didn't take this well because she said she did this with everyone. This is her problem, nobody else's. Not everyone is welcome to being openly touched. If someone were to do this to me, male or female, I would simply slap their hand away, a very clear message, don't touch. If I were to bring it up to someone, they should handle it like an adult. I do this with everyone is not an answer, it's an excuse for crossing a boundary. Not the idiot. A person who meant nothing by their actions, who cared about you and your boyfriend, would not freak out and start yelling. A more appropriate reaction would be to be concerned and clear the air and wonder how you can make your friends more comfortable. I know I want my friends to be comfortable around me, and if something I'm doing is uncomfortable for them, then I'll stop as they're my friend, I love them, and I want them to be happy and comfortable. Good on you for helping a person, but you can't expect everyone to be grateful. Best wishes. Not the idiot, definitely. You know, I keep seeing in posts like these about how the other side is upset because the idiot got kicked out with nowhere to go during a pandemic. And it bothers me because that implies they expected the OP to just tolerate crappy behavior for the foreseeable future, I guess. And that's crap. This friend way crossed the line of just touchy. She making moves on your man and he is uncomfortable with it. You intended to be nice, she exploded cause she got caught. That's not on you, it's on her. You were doing her a favor. Favor ended. Good luck to her. A regular offered me $100 to take a shot with him. He has been drinking at the bar I worked at for over 10 years. I worked there for 4 years. I made a shot with sour mix and cranberry to match the color of his, so he thought I was taking one. I just want to make extra money. My manager happened to see this on the cameras. There is a strict no drinking policy at this bar for bartenders on the clock, and it's a new manager who is trying to show her authority, so she made an example of me and fired me. There is no way to prove there wasn't booze in my shot. I saw the footage, and with the liquor gun we have right next to the pop gun, there is no way to prove I didn't put liquor in that shot. I honestly don't and didn't care enough to argue with her about it. I'm about to start a new job since I graduate from school after this semester and am not too concerned about my future in bartending. I trained basically every new person at this bar, and I was honest with them that I was fired in our work group chat. They all started saying if you got fired for that we don't want to work here either. They were all saying bad things about the manager and how they want to screw the whole bar over by all quitting at the same time. I told them that our new manager is balls to the walls. I said I'm going to be just fine, but not to make my same mistake and drink anything out of a shot glass because she is that concerned about it. I also told them to think for themselves and do whatever they need to when it comes to their jobs. I then let my anger overtake me and I said, if you want to find a job where you don't have to be constantly looking over your back and have to be worried about an insane manager, find different bartending and serving jobs. You're all capable people that don't deserve a psycho watching over you when you've put good time into a workplace. I basically contradicted myself. I feel like I went over the top, my sister said. I should have kept my mouth shut. But I explained the whole situation to the old manager, who taught me to mix things together to look like booze so people don't feel rejected when they buy you shots trick. She thinks it's crazy the new manager won't trust me after training so many people in, and my old manager loves me. My old manager quit because she was moving away with her fiancé, but she told the new manager that I was trustworthy, and I thought the new manager would have some trust, considering I was basically running the bar when she came in. Whatever the case, am I the idiot for letting a lot of employees quit on my behalf? Because as of now 7 out of 10 bartenders where I was fired from are planning a group quit. I don't want the bar to close, but I want my manager to realize that she messed up. I'm going to go against the grain and say you are the idiot. You did something against policy, you admit you mixed something up to look like you were drinking alcohol, and you got fired for it. Saying the old manager would let you get away with something is not something a new manager wants to hear and is irrelevant. You admit you did this to make more money, so you essentially mimic breaking a common rule at many bars in order to profit. Because you got caught, it does not mean the new manager is watching everyone like a hawk, it means you got caught doing something. There is a difference. Not the idiot. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. The manager is playing a very stupid game by power tripping and not trusting key personnel. The stupid prize for that game is that the manager has lost the trust and confidence of the rest of their staff. The new manager earned this mess and can deal with it personally. You were honest with your former coworkers and they are making their own decisions. That's on them, just like the manager's actions are on her. Art of leadership is trusting your subordinates, especially when they have the track record to earn that trust. Not the idiot, cause it's their choice. But just for your info, I don't know if they will actually quit. Obviously, I don't know these people, but unless they got something else lined up or have some money saved, they can live off of it for a while, but they gotta be careful and think before they do. No idea if it's hard to get into another bartending job, but they gotta think. But yeah, I've had people at my job insist they quit if I get fired, but I know they wouldn't for reasons I said above. Which is fine, honestly I'd feel weird if they did. My son, 10, has been playing Fortnite with his best friend for a couple years. For about a year and a half of that time, it was just the two of them playing, and in the last 6 months more and more of their classmates have started to join in. My kids are with me every other week, and on the weeks they are here I spend a good amount of time with them, chilling, doing homework, movies, etc. I live with my girlfriend and her 3 kids, so we spend a lot of time in the boys' very large bedroom. About 3 months ago I started noticing my son being upset and found out that he was being kicked from the groups, and at first I was concerned maybe he was being an idiot or whatever. About 2 months back I was in their room, and my son was playing with his friends, and I heard him kind of begging and saying don't kick me, and then he said, I don't have V-Bucks to get you that skin, and then he got kicked. I asked him what was going on, and he downplayed it and I let it go. Since that point, I've seen the same thing happen a few more times, and I finally got him to open up to me, and it turns out he has been being bullied by his friend for a long time into giving or gifting skins, emotes, and other items. I explained to him that I got the V-Bucks for him to get stuff for himself, and that I can't afford to be getting his friend stuff. He said he understood and said he would stop. It turns out that his friend has been doing this to all of his friends, and he opened up to me that he had given this kid 20 plus items ranging from 1200 to 2000 V-bucks, $12 to 20 each. So I've spent anywhere from $250 to $400 on this kid that I know of. I had written out a long text to the kid's mom a couple weeks back, and for some reason, I decided not to send it. Well, Tuesday, yep, you guessed it, I was in the kid's bedroom and I heard, "No, Billy, I don't have enough V-bucks to get you that skin." But then I heard, "You know what, Billy, I've given you more than 20 things and you've given me one." He was, of course, kicked from the group. That was the last straw for, and I guess for, my son. It turns out that the other kids were giving this kid whatever he wanted, and that was why my son often was the one who would get kicked. I told him I was going to be sending his friend's mom a text explaining everything, and I also had some text messages with Billy saying, "If you buy me this skin, I will refriend you." He begged me not to send it, but I obviously thought it was important enough that the mom needed to know what her kid was doing. She replied back in a very understanding way, apologizing to my son and to me, and said she would be talking to her son yesterday after school. So my son didn't want to go to school today because he is worried about how things will be. So, am I the idiot? Or did I do the right thing? Hard to ruin a 5-year best friend relationship, and yes, I see that this kid wasn't really being a best friend. Oddly, I blame COVID for bringing this on. For 6 months the only place they saw each other was online. And yes, the mother has offered to reimburse us for the V-bucks. Not the idiot. You stood up for your son against a bully. I wish my parents had done that more. Honestly, that kid was not your son's friend, he was someone who used your son for his own advantage, and your son will realize that he is better without him. That said, you need to watch out to make sure your son doesn't face retaliation from the kid for this. If the kid was punished by their parents, it is likely they will take it out on your son when they see him again. You need to be ready to put a stop to any future bullying if it starts up again. Not the idiot. You handled that well. Your son might not realize it now, but he'll be thankful later. It's a blatantly abusive relationship, Billy, towards any of his friend group, not just your son. That's not worth salvaging. Real friends don't treat each other like that. I'm relieved that the mother was also willing to step in because you brought it to her attention. All of the parents involved seemed to handle it like civil adults, which is a great way to actually fix things. Not the idiot. You did the right thing. I know it's a struggle because your son is upset, but you are doing the important work of teaching him not to be a doormat for bullies. I really think it's important that you let him know this was for him, not for you. It's because he's being bullied and that's wrong, not because you don't have the money to get the other kids' skins. It's a small distinction, but an important one. Also, I bet the other kids are getting sick of the bully. Maybe they could use a nudge to let them know they can play without him. This happened when I was 24, and my sister is still pissed about it and thinks I was the idiot. I just want to see if I am or not. Long story short, I won a raffle at my job for an all-expense-paid family vacation. It wasn't a super fancy prize to Disneyland or anything crazy. It was just a nice 3-day stay at this little beach house in place. It was for 4 people. I asked new boyfriend at the time to go, but he couldn't because school. I told nobody I won, but when I came down to visit my family for the weekend, my sis was there with my niece and nephew, who are the 2 brattiest kids I've met thanks to sis not disciplining them ever. I love them, but she lets them get into everything and never watches them unless someone, me or our mom, yells at her to get off her butt and watch them. Visiting is always a chore because I end up watching them to give our mom a break. It's pathetic. I'd considered inviting them to come before I arrived. But the longer I was there, the more I hated the idea. By the time I was packing up to go home, I knew I wasn't inviting them. She dumped them on me the entire time, like usual, and I knew if they came it would turn into me babysitting them while she had a vacation. So I didn't mention it. Next day I told my friend Megan cause she has 2 kids, older than sis's kids and very well behaved, and she's a single working mom who could use the vacay. I offered to invite her along if she would pay for the gas to get us all to or from there, and she happily agreed. We went, had a blast, I got a pretty good tan, we ate lots of buffet food, and did fun family type activities all weekend before coming back. I posted some pics I took, nothing in your face, just a couple cute ones of me or us on the beach. When I got back, and before lunch even rolled around, sis was blowing up my phone, asking how the hell I could afford a vacation. I told her it was a raffle prize. She asked who won and I said me. She flipped her crap, demanding to know why I hadn't invited her. I was honest and said cause I didn't want to babysit her kids for my entire vacation. She called me an idiot, said I knew she needed a vacation, and then hung up on me. Later mom called asking why I promised niece and nephew I'd take them on vacation. I said I never told them I would. Turns out sis told them we were all supposed to go on vacation, but I ruined it and now they couldn't. So they sobbed all day. I explained my side and mom said I was mean to not invite sis and niece and nephew. But she dropped it after I said I wasn't babysitting my whole vacation. I could have invited them, but I just didn't want to. Sis thinks family should come before friends. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. You won a contest, you chose to take a friend and her kids because it would be a great time for all involved. It's not a vacation if you're babysitting unbehaved kids. Your sister is clearly trying to use you. The fact that she told her kids you promised them a vacation and then robbed them of it is a huge red flag, especially considering it was after the vacation. Seriously consider what kind of relationship you want to have with your sister, because it looks like she's willing to turn her kids against you to get what she wants. Not the idiot. Your sister is a piece of work, not only an entitled parent, but lying to your mom about the whole situation in the course of throwing her tantrum. I'd hope she might get a wake-up call as to her poor parenting and dumping her kids on other people to deal with as the reason she missed out, but I somehow doubt she's capable of perceiving she's done anything wrong. It's your vacation, you invite who you think you'd enjoy it the most with. Not the idiot. You should post this on entitled people. That's what your sister is. She thinks she is entitled to the things in your life. Also, your trip, your decision on who to invite. I'm glad you enjoyed your vacation. I have 3 kids. I pride myself on my children's behavior when we are around others. They are still people and experience moods. But they are still good and understand to behave. 3, 4, 8. And when we are invited to do things with people over others, it makes me feel good knowing I'm doing a good job with the kids and they are reaping the rewards of the good behavior.